Alrighty, on to our next question. How does God view suicide? Is the question being asked. Well, first and foremost, God views suicide as, with all due respect to those who have thought about it or had the experience, meaning those not embodied or listening, and they are plenty. God views suicide the same way God views every other single initiation and choice that we make in our lives. Everything that happens to us and everything we do occurs solely for the purpose of our God realization. So it is yet another life lesson, a life experience from which we learn and grow and expand into a higher and more loving consciousness. Does that, mean it's a wonderful thing? No, it's not. It's very sad and tragic, a very tragic loss. And I put quotes around the word loss, as defined earlier. But God doesn't view it as bad or wrong or ugly or, God is the constant emanation of unconditional love and acceptance and adoration. If you want to personify God and look at God as the divine parent, would there be sadness in that? I suppose you could say that. Different people describe God in different ways and, experience God in different ways. So if you're talking about God, the parent, the loving parent, yeah, of course there would be that. But God looks at a lot of things that way. When people turn their back on God, when people constantly choose to act non-loving when they could so easily be loving, when people choose to shortchange themselves by making very unwise or foolish choices when they even know better, God views all those things as very sad and tragic. But again, that's looking at God in a personified sense. God, in terms of the creator of this constant emanation of unconditional love, sees it as one more life lesson that people have to do. Now, does that mean I'm advocating it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because of what I said prior, everything is forgivable and everything is redeemable. But, there are some people who, to the core of their being, feel they don't have any choice. They really feel there is no one to turn to and there is no hope and there's no way out. Now, what I want to say to anyone who may be watching, listening now, or maybe at some point in the future, there is always a way. There are two things I want to say. There is always a way, and there's always a way to find your way out of the maze and out of your predicament while still embodied. Always. So please never give up hope. Just broaden your horizons and look elsewhere. If you're not finding the help you need where you are, go somewhere else. Find it somewhere else. Whatever it takes. By phone, by foot, by bus, by plane, there is always help on earth while in your embodiment. The second most important thing I want to say to all those who are now considering or have contemplated suicide, who have attempted it, and I put quotes around it because that's really a misnomer. You don't really attempt it. You either do it or you don't. All the truly suicidal people are all dead. But those who have contemplated it or dabbled, and I know that experience, I had it myself when I was in my teens. So if you're thinking about it, have thought about it, have dabbled in experimenting with it, is probably a better word than attempted. Experimenting, like getting very close to the edge, taking pills, cutting yourself, whatever it is. And to those of you in spirit or preparing to come back into the world or listening from the spirit realms who have actually gone through this rite of passage, I'll tell you one thing to all categories. The very first thing that every single suicide person discovers 1 second after leaving your embodiment is that, oh my God, I did not have to do that. Every single person who commits suicide has that realization instantly. Why I'm telling you that is so that you don't have to go through that. There is hope. You just, you've given up hope and or you're not looking in enough places or asking the right people for help. If you're not getting it where you are, find it somewhere else. There are people who can help you. And if you feel wherever you've tried there aren't people, call louder to God and God will send help. All prayers are answered. All prayers are heard. When the asking is pure and it's passionate and it's intense, God will show up front and center. Remember, if you've ever seen that movie, The Ten Commandments, there's that scene when Moses gets himself to the foot of Mount Sinai and he's speaking with the woman who will later become his wife, one of the women who found him when he was in the desert. And he was telling her that he's going up the mountain. He said, I'm really angry. I feel really angry about the situation that I see where I live, the treatment of these people and the slavery and blah, 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 blah. And he said, I want some answers, and I'm going up that holy mountain to get answers. And she said, you can't do that. You can pray to God, but God's not going to show up for you, and God certainly is not going to talk to you. Why would God talk to you? And he said, God will talk to me. I am going to demand and command his presence, and I'm not coming off that mountain until he does. And I think we all know the rest of the story. He had personal encounters with God in the flesh, and many, many times. Why was he special? Well, we're all special. It was the power and conviction of his passionate mission statement, and of the purity of his motive, and of his faith that it could be. Why not? If he's real, then why would he not come? And I'm just going to make him come. And he did. And they looked at him and said, oh, foolish man. And up he went, and now you know the rest of the story. So the power of your passion, your conviction, your faith, your belief that this can be, you will summon the presence of God. So help you God. So help you. So help you me. And I shall. It is true, and it is real, and it is possible. So know it, believe it, command it, and demand it. In hopefully a loving and reverent way. But if you have to do it in an angry and nasty way, so be it. God loves that too, because that's passion. God loves the ones who are all fiery and, get their fisticuffs up. Because the most difficult thing God has to deal with is lethargy and this kind of I don't care and just kind of lethargic, wishy-washy consciousness. But the people who are lovingly passionate, the people who are rip-roaring mad, they're alive. They're alive, and God sees them the same. Those people are very easy to reach. So, ask and you shall receive.